This is the Thompson Cast. I am Mel Thompson. Opportunities come in all shapes, sizes, and forms. And unfortunately, some of them come at the cost of other foreign direct investors, or they come at the cost of other countries. Now, in the case of rice, Vietnam is now benefiting from a bad season of rice growing in China. And they are also benefiting from Thailand's lack of readiness, shall we say, to really capitalize on its quality of rice on the markets. Vietnam and Thailand do not necessarily compete in the rice export business in the same markets, and the demand has increased for Vietnamese rice mainly because of China. However, foreign direct investment in Thailand rice projects is subject to the whims of how well the Vietnam rice exporters do. In other words, at some point, it would not surprise me if Vietnam does start making substantial inroads into the same markets that Thailand competes in the rice market. And I say this with some degree of trepidation and caution. However, it's a good thing to discuss, mainly because it very well could happen given the low output in China, its increased imports of rice from Vietnam, and its overall reliance on other countries basically to feed its people in recent years. Now, 45% of rice in a province called Xinjiang is planted with higher quality rice. But the plan is to gradually increase the area and start getting into markets where Thailand is a major player. So Vietnam actually is very, very slowly but surely working its way into the same markets as Thailand. Now, if you're a foreign direct investor in Thailand agricultural markets, particularly in rice production and export, this is something you should know, and this actually should concern you. You might want to start looking at Vietnam rice, mainly because the quality actually is going to be expanded, and they are doing this with the intent of taking market share away from Thailand. Now, the long-term look at the markets as far as exports of Vietnamese rice look quite promising. And right now, we're looking at around 70 million tons of rice is exported every year. And the long-term prospects look as if it's going to be quite a bit more, particularly if Vietnam is successful in entering other markets that they are not very, very well versed in right now. In fact, Thailand's exports is a little bit lower than Vietnam's. They are at 6.5 million tons. So that number actually there could actually decrease. So the political risk is clearly to foreign direct investment in Thailand rice markets. It is clearly something that is being driven by the expansion by the political policies of planting higher quality rice by Vietnamese farmers and the intent of the Vietnam government to expand exports into the same markets that Thailand deals in. Now, the biggest market clearly in Asia would be China. And a bad rice crop in southern China played a huge increase in the expansion of the type of rice that the Vietnam government thought their farmers should be planting and the type of rice that should be exported to China. As word spreads that the quality of the rice has improved, the market share of Thailand rice is going to be impacted. It's very, very simple. Because the amount of money spent on rice from Thailand right now is higher than the cost of production for the Vietnam farmers, and is also a much lower return on investment if you have foreign direct investment in Vietnam agriculture, particularly in rice production and export. At some point, the political policies in Thailand are going to have to be changed to meet this new aggressive policy by the government of Vietnam when it comes to exports of rice by its farmers. So far, there's no clear indication what that change is going to be. However, there should be some degree of change, and that is in and of itself another political risk, since that the change is not known precisely. So if you have any foreign direct investment in agricultural markets in Thailand, particularly in rice export and production, you may want to look at the political policies on the horizon that somehow will either mirror, mimic, or adapt to the increased robustness of the quality and export potential of Vietnam rice, particularly to southern China. This has been the Thompson Cast. I am Mel Thompson.